Hi everybody, Mo Davis, the Travis Outsider. Bear with me, I'm super tired tonight. I wanted to come to you with an update on the whole unsedated medical fiasco that I'm about to go through in September. And I wanted to specifically talk about this because I wanted to address the issue of medical gatekeeping. Um, so when we refer to medical gatekeeping, we are referring often to the non-doctor professionals that we have to deal with along the way to either speak to our doctors, access certain healthcare through our doctors, etc. And so a few days ago, I got a call from the doctor. I think it was on Tuesday. And her and I discussed, my very serious concerns given my history in colposcopy, where by the end I was regularly having convulsions during colposcopy every time I went, because I was going quite regularly, and my cervix is probably one big ball of scar. And she asked a few more questions and she was like, okay, well, given what you are saying right now, I am actually concerned. And I do believe it's a good option to look at different options of sedation. So she offered, she was discussing the possibility of Ativan or other things that are non non-complete going under that would alleviate some natural physical trauma responses that would respond to either heavy amounts of pain or physical trauma. And I was like, okay, cool. And she said, okay, well, one of our nurse administrators is going to call you, because I'm not the one doing the procedure. I'm the secondary doctor. The doctor that's actually going to do the procedure is going to call you. Now, keep in mind, these doctors work together. This is the same clinic. It's the same service. It's a collection of services that we are going through right now to assess why the hell I'm having the problems that I'm having. And why did I lose 9 babies? So long story short, the administrative nurse calls me today. And I felt like I was repeating like a broken record, trying to explain why it is I felt the need to request extra sedation. I felt incredibly gaslit. Um, the nurse kept repeating over and over, well, there are so many other women who have done this procedure and they did just fine. That's great that they did just fine. That's great that they were willing to subject themselves to such a horrific procedure and suck up the pain without being given other options. I'm not that person. And I have a different medical history. And I have had convulsions on the table, which made both myself and the doctor I spoke to quite concerned with the idea. Like, when the doctor said that the nurse administrator is going to call me, she didn't say that the nurse administrator is going to call me to evaluate whether or not I should get some sort of extra sedative. She said she's going to call me to give me the different options of sedations that I would get. And I was not offered any options. I was simply called and like repeated over and over and over, essentially, that my concerns were not founded. I, who's done colposcopy like a bajillion times, have no idea what an even more invasive procedure might do to me. I have no idea. This is what we mean when we say medical gaslighting. Like, I am speaking on behalf of myself, but on behalf of probably 100% of minorities and I want to say 90% of women. This is what we mean by medical gaslighting. The doctor speaks to us. They are concerned. They appreciate that we bring these highlighted points that they were not aware of, because these points change the discussion according to the doctor and absolutely make it, necessary for me to have an extra sedative. And yet the administrative nurse wants to just continue the gaslighting. I was never explained what my options were. Like, I finished the conversation basically being like, listen, can you just ask the doctor if he can prescribe some Ativan? That's all I'm going to ask you now. Like, we were supposed to discuss the options, but since we can't discuss these options, then why don't you ask the doctor if I can have a prescription for Ativan? Ask them for a prescription of Ativan for me. Because I think it'll go a lot smoother for all of us if I'm not convulsing on the table. The complete disregard for female mental health in the medical field. The complete obliviousness and indifference towards the cause of medical trauma of females in our country is mind-boggling and disgusting. I'm saying what I'm saying. I said what I said. I'm not taking it back. Human beings are having biopsies taken without proper sedation. It sounds like a torture tactic, but no, this is healthcare. And y'all wonder why women don't trust doctors. And y'all women wonder why people of color and racialized minorities in Canada do not trust doctors. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Have a good night.